Today, I am talking about time bending. And I hear from a number of people that I've been doing conversations with recently that the topic of time management comes up. And so I've dug a little bit deeper into this. And what I've discovered is that you could call it time management, but there are other factors that are at play. And these are the factors that I'm going to be talking about here today that will allow you to bend time and get a lot more done in a lot less time. And consider what if you could do one thing that produced like 80% of your results. And you're probably familiar, you may have heard about the Pareto's principle, the notion, the reality, the actual mathematical equation that says that about 80% of results come from 20% of our activities. So when I do the calculations on a typical 40-hour work week, which I know that many people put in a lot more than 40 hours if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a awakened entrepreneur and you're bringing your creativity out into the world, that you may spend 40 or you may spend more. But let's say you spend 40 hours a week doing, let's say, client generating activities or the things that are needed to generate income for your business. So 20% of 40 hours is 8 hours. And again, this comes from Pareto's principle. This is not an abstraction. This is the reality that about 80% of results come from 20%. So in a typical 40-hour week, there's about 8 hours of that time period, or one day a week, right? What if you could work one day a week and take the rest of the 4-day work week off? Or what if you could work an hour and a half or 2 hours every day on the specific activities that produce results? Well, this is reality. And if you're an awakening entrepreneur, if you are awakening to the possibility that things happen oftentimes below our level of consciousness, like things produce results, oftentimes in ways that is not completely logical. And this is part of what I'm talking about here today. And so, what if you could produce these results in a much shorter period of time? And like I said, this comes out of a number of interviews that I've been doing, and what I have discovered is that a lot of people are super busy doing things, and this super busyness sometimes it produces results, and oftentimes what happens is that it may produce results, it may not produce results in terms of getting clients and creating income. But what also can suffer is your relationships or your health when you're running around like a hamster on a wheel, doing a lot of different activities, and even activities that may seem like they're a positive, life affirming activities like personal development and striving to get constantly better. But sometimes these are just, like I said, being like a hamster on a wheel, and it's just producing a bunch of noise versus producing actual results. And so, metaphorically, I think about an example of this in my past career. Some of you may or may not know, but I had a 20-year career as a landscape architect and reached the very top end of that industry. And we did design, so landscape architectural design. We did construction of outdoor living spaces, and we also did maintenance. We had a maintenance division, so we were design, build, and construction. And in our maintenance end of the business, our typical contract for a residence to take care of their gardens and the lawns. And these are mostly clients that we had built spaces for, built outdoor living spaces. That typical contract might be about a $6,000 a year contract. But we had a few contracts that were much bigger, certain clients that were much bigger. And we had one client that rather than $6,000 a year, this particular client was about $7,000 per month. It was about an $80,000 per year contract to take care of about 3 acres of gardens and lawns and outdoor living space. So that one client uh, equaled 12 other typical clients. And so this is an example of bending time. What if you could get one client that was an ideal client that produced 12 times what a typical sale produces? And this is exactly what I'm talking about here today. I'm going to give you three key principles or three key steps to bend time in such a way that maybe you only work an hour and a half or 2 hours per day, or you work 1 day per week, and you get a lot more done and you have more freedom to enjoy your relationships, to work on your health, to go to the gym, to go for a walk, to go for a hike, to do the things that you love to do. This is what I call the freedom lifestyle. And it is generated from bending time, taking advantage of the tools and the techniques and the methods that awakening entrepreneurs are now becoming aware of. So, three key things that will shift your ability to get things done and bend time. And I say in one of the areas that is most specific to bend time is to get clients, and to get clients like I described, like one client that is of the same value of 12 other clients, getting one really ideal client. This is what I help people to do, to focus and apply these three things to get ideal clients, clients that you really enjoy working with, clients that pay you and give additional referrals, ideal clients. So, three things to share with you. The first thing is intention, having a clarity of vision. And imagine that you are going on a trip, like you're going on a long journey, like a 5,000 mile journey. Maybe you're going, or a 3,000 mile journey. You're going all the way across country. And imagine that you didn't really know exactly where you were going. Like maybe you were going to go to, from the East Coast, maybe you're going to go to San Francisco, maybe Seattle, maybe San Diego. Well, it's quite a variety of mileage between all those three cities that are equally about 3,000 miles from the East Coast. But imagine you had no clarity about what that destination exactly is. And this is what clarity of vision will do for you. And what I'm talking about is creating a written clarity, a visual clarity, and more importantly, an emotional clarity about where you want to get to. If you're building an online business or a way to be of service to a particular community of people, well, this is a powerful and wonderful destination because this is what technology provides for us now. Everything has shifted, my friends, and you know this already because chances are you've already been participating in other people's programs, self-help or transformational or health programs, or different learning programs. Even all the high-priced universities now have online learning where they are being able to deliver to a global audience of students, clients, people to serve. Well, you can use this same technology yourself. I recommend the school platform, which is where we're primarily broadcasting here from today, to create a community, and define the destination for that community. What makes a community attract clients and become a powerful container that you can become the leader of is when you have a powerful destination where you're leading your clients to. And the same thing is for your own life, having a powerful destination of where you want to get to. Like I said, think of your ability to be able to work an hour and a half a day, to be able to do that leisurely, to be able to enjoy your morning coffee, to be able to hang out with your family, your pets, to go for a walk in the morning. This is what I talk about, a freedom lifestyle. And what I want to suggest to you is that you invest the time to make this vision very clear and to get around other people who are doing the same thing, because this is what makes the vision clear. This is the most important first step thing, my friends. Without clarity about what you're doing and what you're creating, then your energy will dissipate, and the time management won't make any difference at all, because you can spend an hour and a half building your community or reaching out to ideal clients on the phone or on social media, and you could get one client that is a $5,000 or a $10,000 client, and that is your work for the month. And this is what I'm talking about bending time. And it all starts with a clarity of intention, clarity of vision. And part of that clarity comes, like I said, from a visual clarity. So imagining what it is that you're creating, create a picture book, create a vision board, and bring that vision really close to you. If you have desire to go and live and travel in Italy or go to Mexico like I do for 3 months out of the year, well, bring those pictures really close to you. Have them on your desktop, on your nightstand. Bring them close to you. Talk about them. Feel what it feels like to live in Italy, and to bring that vision and that intention so that it is emotionally felt. This is the secret, to imagine, feelingly, to imagine that you are already living the destination, because it is the emotion that generates the energy that then propels you into action. And then, equally as part of this, for awakening entrepreneurs, what is sometimes even more energy producing is the why you would want to do this. And for instance, maybe part of the why could be so that you have the ability to give back. There is no better feeling than the ability to be able to financially give back to your church, to your community, to support, your local businesses. People talk about supporting business, but you can't do that, right, unless you have the financial means to do that. So maybe that is part of the why. And again, other aspects of the why, for me, I know there's some general things about it, which is to make the world a better place. Like, I do what I do to make the world a better place, to create beauty in the world, to create connection, and to make the world a fun and enjoyable place. This is what business can do. This is what an online business or community or online program can do. So, first thing is intention. The second thing is removing the unconscious barriers that are standing in the way. And these are the shadow self aspects that are almost invisible. They're only invisible until we shine a light on them. And some of the things that I am speaking about are some of the shadow self protective mechanisms that we picked up in our childhood, in our young years, that unconsciously became recorded on the hard drive of our mind. And they can be running like a virus in the background, robbing energy away and causing distraction and choosing to do actions like self soothing actions that are soothing to the anxiety or to the unconscious shadow self trauma that's running like a virus in the background, but it's preventing us from taking action. And if you have challenges with focusing your energy, focusing your mind on taking the right actions, and again, running around like a hamster on a wheel, then chances are very good that these viruses, these virus like things, are running in the background and they're robbing your energy. And so there's no judgment about this. And I hope that to be a voice for this, because I know that when we notice ourselves doing these, let's call them, bad habits, maybe, like I said, self soothing or distracting, going on social media to, watch, whatever it is, whether it's, political outrage or, other things that we can end up wasting time on. These are the distractions that are keeping us from taking the action. So we want to first shine a light on them, take notice of them, and here are a few other examples of them. Uh, Sometimes I've noticed this because this is the things that I help people with to remove these barriers. Is that there can be an unconscious program running in the background around money. And this is a very common one because, if you grew up in a family where parents were fighting about money or worried about money, I know I had this experience myself. Um, and if parents were worried about money or they were, fighting about money, well, this creates like a program, an unconscious barrier that every time that you go after the making of money, and it could be in a very particular context. Every time you go after money in a certain context, there can be this virus, this shadow self aspect that drains the energy and then causes you to then want to or to unconsciously choose a distraction to move away from it rather than investing in working with a coach or getting help or going to a source of help. Rather than doing that, then it becomes like, I'll do that later. I'll do that some other time in the future once I've achieved a level of success. That's when I'll then go get help in order to get success. And you can see how crazy that is, right? When you hear me talking about, I'm going to wait till I have success in order to invest in the things that I need to have success: the education, the learning, the mentoring, the coaching. It's like a like I said, it's like a hamster on a wheel. And this is what our shadow self unconscious programs are doing. And the root source of them is often in our childhood, the programs, the messages that were being discussed when we were growing up. Here's another one which is very pernicious, which is perfectionism. Like, I can't take action on this thing until I have it perfectly. Like, I'm not going to be able to go onto social media or do a live stream or to make a phone call to a client or somebody who may want my help until I know exactly what to say, until I have it perfect. I know exactly what I'm doing. Well, again, this is like a hamster on a wheel. This is an unconscious virus running in the background. The only way to get good at something is to take the risk that everyone has to take, which is to do something when there is uncertainty. And sometimes that barrier wall of uncertainty can be low, meaning that it's just like a small and minor, like butterflies in the stomach. Like, I don't know, I can't make this phone call. I don't like to reach out into social media groups and connect with people and engage, even though I think they may want my help because um, again, there's some kind of a feeling that emerges, and sometimes it's a minor feeling like butterflies in the stomach, and sometimes it's like a massive feeling like anxiety. And when it's more of a massive feeling like anxiety, well, this is really the the trigger to know to ask for help around this so that you can get help to move those unconscious viruses off. It's like having a computer that is running so slowly that every time you try to get on to your to get your email or to get onto social media, you have to wait 15 minutes for the dang thing to spool up. And this is what I'm talking about, that happens to us. These are shadow self barriers, unconscious patterns, perfectionism, very, very common type of thing. So if what I'm saying resonates with you, I want to tell you that it's not your fault. And there is no shame about discussing these things and maybe discussing them, with the right people. There is oversharing that can happen, but shining a light on these things. And again, as I'm speaking about them, if you feel a little like, hey, that's me, I raise my hand, then shine some light on it. You can write about it, but make it a priority. This is what time bending will do for you. When you have a barrier that is in the way, that's creating an unconscious loop like this, chances are pretty darn good that it's not going to go away on its own. You're not going to feel like the time is perfect to take action. It will never be that way. The step to do is to remove that barrier, to shine a light on it, to bring some comfort to that little person inside of you where that pattern got created, and then to rewrite that pattern through revision. We call it revision. And there are ways to do this, to rewrite the patterns so that rather than feeling limited and having your energy shut down, the opposite happens. That when you make a phone call, then you get energized. You create a new pattern, a new program, that every time you make a phone call, you start to realize that the phone call is leads to your next high ticket client. And when you have a first success with this, then all of a sudden you start to be like, oh, this is what I need to do. And it's like the Pavlov response. You'd be like, oh, okay, I made a phone call and then I got a client. I made a phone call, I got freedom. I made a phone call, and this now has removed all my anxiety around money. And then it just spirals upward, and then you start taking those 20% of activities that produce 80% of the results. And now the third and final thing to share with you is the most important thing, but it's probably not the first thing, because this is very counterintuitive, but I'll tell you what it is. The third thing is taking aligned action consistently. There are specific actions that result in getting clients, and there are a very small number of actions. They don't take very much linear time. This is why you can bend time. Is there only specific actions that are going to get the results? And there's a lot of things that you can do. And like I said, the distractions that come out of these unconscious patterns will lead you oftentimes away from either seeing what the right actions are, or consciously knowing I need to do this, but then doing something else instead. And again, this is not your fault. Okay. This is why I do what I do, why I help people to get clarity on the intention, remove the barriers, and then to see and to teach what the right actions are. And the reason why I say it's not the first thing, it's very counterintuitive, because people will think, oh, I just need to take the right actions. I just need to know the strategy. But even when you know the strategy, you may not take it because the energy is not there due to a lack of intention, or, again, the unconscious barriers in the way. So let me give you a few thoughts about what the right actions are. And in fact, here is one that we are working on right now in the incubator circle. If you want to stop wasting time on social media and just get clients, then here is one of the actions to take. The fastest way to get a client is to speak to them. And chances are really good that you already have some people who are already interested in what you want or what you do. And chances are there are probably already people that you've helped in the past who know other people who want the help that you provide to them. And so reaching out to them and asking if they know people who need your help, or maybe you're launching a new program. And what we're doing in the incubator circle right now is doing informational interviews in order to refine and find out what people really want in a program. And in that process, we oftentimes uh, discover and find out people who want our help. It is just a natural byproduct of it. It's not a bait and switch. It's just doing informational interviews is one of the fastest ways to get comfortable, for one thing. Doing discovery call type of conversations, and speaking to people and building your network by directly speaking. I know we have every other way to connect with people now, texting and social media, but there's nothing like speaking to people, because that this is how we get the feedback to find out in real time what people want, what do they value, what are the obstacles. And oftentimes those obstacles are very easy things that you can help people with. And what people pay you for is not your time, it's not your credentials, it's not because you've done something in the past, it's because you can help them to achieve an outcome. And let's say, for instance, you help people to overcome some kind of an addictive pattern, right? We've got all kinds of addictive patterns: food, drugs, sex, alcohol, and there are people who are looking for help with each of these things. But here's the thing: is that there has to be clarity of what it is that the specific thing, because people don't want just help with anything. They want help with the problem that they have. And it's not called, addiction to anything. It's called a habit or an addiction to a particular substance, the name of that substance. And so by reaching out to people in places where those people are gathering, if you're helping people, let's say, to overcome challenges with habitual marijuana smoking, which has become, unfortunately, quite a problem for a lot of people now. It seems innocent enough, but a lot of people, can't stop the smoking, and they're looking for help with it. Well, those groups are located on Facebook and on other social media platforms, And here is the thing is that you want to create your own community. So directly reaching out to people in places where your ideal clients are located and directly reaching out through Messenger or maybe lists of people that are already on your phone right now, scheduling informational interviews. And here is the secret, which is that you always have to have a reason and a good reason to speak to people. And the magic word is I'm calling you or I'm reaching out to you because, and that because is often then filled in by because I help people who have problems with this thing to overcome it. And so you have to have a reason to reach out, and that is part of the methodology for taking right action, where you can land a client, a high ticket client, in the next 7 days. Right? You don't need to spend a shit ton of time on social media, endlessly posting. You need to speak to people. You need to directly connect with people, and the social media platforms, uh, it is where everybody is spending time right now. But again, uh, it's not doing a whole lot just posting interesting stuff. That is a way to incite engagement if you do it properly. But you actually have to get into a conversation with a person in order to create an enrollment conversation. Without enrollment conversations, then very little is going to happen. And let's consider the opposite of this. Let's say you have a $3,000 or $5,000 high ticket program that runs over the course of 3 months or 6 months, and you want to enroll like a couple of clients per month. You want to get you know um, you know uh, six or $10,000 stream of income. You need about two clients to do that. And in order to get two clients per month, to get to a $10,000 per month stream of income coming to you, you only need to talk to about 10 people, right? If you have good skills, if you learn how to do consultative client enrollment, this is what I help people to do, to have natural, non-salesy conversations. If you're missing this skill, then this is what I'm talking about: time bending. The most expensive thing is to spend time and missed opportunity. If your goal is $10,000 a month and you spend 3 months spinning your wheels, well, that's $30,000 worth of missed opportunity, when you could invest the money to learn the tools on how to do consultative client enrollment, how to remove the barriers out of the way, how to create a powerful intention, and create this kind of a platform and a business for yourself. So these are the three things that I have for you: setting powerful intention, removing the barriers, taking aligned action. And if you want to get some help on defining your intention, and most importantly, who is the ideal client and where to find them, well, I offer an initial 15-minute pivot to purpose clarity call. And this is a totally new type of client, a totally new type of offer that I'm making right now. And it is to, like I said, to define the intention, the clarity about where you're going, and then who are the people that need what you have to offer, or what you want to offer, the vehicle that will get you to your destination. And if you want to get that time with me, that 15-minute initial complimentary pivot to purpose clarity call, just drop a comment, message me, and just say clarity, and I'll link you up with my calendar. We'll find a time to get onto a quick call and create clarity. Create the clarity that will create energy in your body. Remove the barriers that may be causing you to be like a hamster on a wheel, and doing the things that are not getting you where you want to go. And then third thing being taking what is the aligned action? How do I reach out to actually speak to people, and what do I say to people? So if you'd like to get some help with that, just drop into the comments wherever it is, and just say clarity call, and I'll connect with you, and we will bring clarity to the destination, to your own freedom journey, and to show you and help you to bend time so that you can live a freedom lifestyle, have a leisurely everyday morning, not stress out about money, and be able to travel and live anywhere you want to in the world. So thanks for joining me here today, and I appreciate seeing you. And we'll talk to you during our next episode.